Hi, so I'm Bethany, and I am going to talk to y'all today about troubleshooting troublemakers. But the first thing I want to do is I want to introduce you to something, that is very near and dear to me. This is my car. Her name is Pig. So I love this car, okay? So what happened was I start working at Facebook, and I have this, heads up, there are swear words in this presentation. If that is not okay, then this is a really good time for you to punch out. Okay, just wanted to make that clear. All right, because I was about to say long-ass commute. But I had this very long commute down to Facebook. It was like 27 miles each way, because I'm coming in from the East Bay. It takes forever. And I hated my old car. It was slow, and it was awful. So I love this car. There was a guy actually who was going to be here who talked me into buying this car. I don't see him yet. But basically what happened is I wanted a couple things. I wanted something that was a convertible, because I live in California now. And I wanted something that was fast and had a cute face. Ha, you are here. Has a cute face. And that is how I came to meet Pig. But one day, I'm driving home. It's about 6 months after I get this car, and I'm like driving down F880, and I'm just like, driving, I'm changing lanes, I got the music on, I'm like blasting it, and I've got the convertible top down, and it occurs to me after I make my exit, I'm sort of sitting, waiting, thinking back over the last 20 miles or so, that I have been driving like an asshole. Like, really bad. Like, the worst stereotypical bad driver ever. And this was me. And when did this happen? This isn't how I see myself. I kind of have a theory about this, which is very much related to this. I think we all know the stereotype, which is that BMW drivers are assholes. And as a BMW driver, I'm here to say that it, yes, can happen to you. It can happen to you, even if you weren't before you get in the car, right? This made me really think about things like how we all have these tendencies sometimes. We all have these moments and these thoughts where we're like, God, you have these jerky moments that come up and you're going to be an asshole. And some environments, like my old car, make it very difficult for you to act on those and make it very difficult for you to do anything about it. But then sometimes you have an environment like Pig that makes it very easy to act on these impulses, maybe a little too easy. So this makes me think a lot about how the environments we work in can have it so that we can accidentally go back to our baser instincts and fall back into being an asshole. So why am I the person who is here talking about this today? I'll tell you a little bit about me first, since I haven't told you anything about me yet, except that I drive like an asshole. Okay, so here we go. I got my first tech job officially in '96. That was the first time that I was officially made a junior sysad. I'd been fixing machines there for a couple years, but now it was my job. It was my actual job to do that. My very first day in the office, my very first day as a sysad, like my whole job now. My new boss throws this book at me, which you can see still has Post-it notes on the side and is filled with pager numbers for people that I do not remember who they are. Hilarious marginalia. He throws this book at me, and he gives me this incredibly specific, useful advice. And that's it. That is pretty much the beginning of my training. Here, you'll need this. And I get a copy of the Red Book. And he was right. Like, the Red Book did a lot for me. About a couple years after I got the Red Book, I ended up back, oddly enough, in this exact building out here in California for 2 weeks of training, learning how to field strip an Origin 2000 down to parts and put it back together. And it was a strange, strange journey. But since then, I've done some other stuff. It's been a couple decades. So I'm one of the founders of Project Include, which is an initiative to help with inclusion and diversity in tech companies. About a year ago, I was halfway through the shortest job stint I've ever had as the first VP of engineering at Reddit. But before that, I spent, a couple years at Facebook in production engineering. I joined Facebook, they bought our company. Before that, I ran software at EMI, and then I had this really wacky time at Second Life. So here's the thing about all of these companies and organizations. They're all really, really different from each other, but in all of them, I tended to be really, really focused on the people inside the organization. And so this is the moment when everybody goes, oh my God, it's a manager, right? Like, yes, you have found me out. That is what I do. That is what I've been doing. And it's not so bad. I tell you, it's not so bad. So I think of it now as I'm supporting systems of people, and people are other people's code. And I can use a lot of the same lessons that I had from before when I was working on systems primarily to help support people. Because my job as a manager is to support you to be as badass as you can possibly be. If you are a manager and you are in this audience and you do not believe that this is the first primary job that you have, come see me afterwards and I will tell you all the reasons you're wrong. Because this is your job, okay? But if we go back to the side of the talk, right? Troublemaker sounds bad. Like, it's got this bad connotation. Ew, sounds bad. And about, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks ago, I had this article that I did on First Round Review, super cool. Best photo of me ever taken, by the way, is on this article. I highly recommend everyone sees this great picture of me in existence. And there's this amazing freak out on Hacker News, right? Because, well, it was interesting to be on Hacker News for something besides quitting a job. That's the first part. But the second thing that was interesting about it is, of course, there's this massive freak out that's like, oh, you know, she's just a manager, and she's trying to control us, she's trying to keep us down, and she's one of those people who wants to, like, make everything go exactly smooth all the time. And, you know, troublemaking is not always a bad thing. Like, I assert that if you are here, then troublemaking is part of your job. It is absolutely part of your job. It helps with your job, right? If your job is DevOps, SRE, production engineer, whatever permutation there is along this continuum, it's probably one of the only ways you can be really good at your job. Like, your job is to make systems work well, but your job is also to get up in other people's business, stir some shit up, help them get unstuck, help them stop covering themselves with technical chains that they don't even know they're doing. And yet, all of that troublemaking that can be so virtuous can also get out of control, and we can end up being an asshole. We can end up being a pain in the ass to work with. We can end up being totally ineffective, which is honestly even worse in my opinion. And it comes down to it is that everyone can be an asshole sometimes, but that happens when troublemaking goes bad, right? So these are our friends, these are our colleagues, these are us. These are the people we have to work with. So what do we do to debug these situations? And why should we bother, right? You're like, oh my God, this is a people manager talk. I'm not a people manager. Can I get out here? How close is the aisle? Can I go get some coffee? This would be a really good time to do that. And I just want you to, like, cut me some slack here, okay? So, like, how many of y'all in the audience have been in the situation where somebody else has made some sort of horrible mistake and you have had to clean it up after them? Show of hands, show of hands, show of hands, right? So, no, keep them up. Because we're gonna go for the next one here. The next one is gonna be, how many of y'all were in the situation where that conversations around that problem escalated out of control, not because of technical situations, but because of people situations? See, this is why we have to care about people. Y'all can put your hands down. This is why we have to care about people, right? It's like almost to a person here. We've got our hands raised, and we all know these situations. The problem with when we start to degrade like that is that we stop respecting each other, and you deserve to be treated with respect. And this moment is the moment when this talk completely goes off the rails, because I'll tell you what happened. So it's Sunday afternoon, slides are due on Monday, and I've written all my slides, and I'm practicing them, and I'm walking around my kitchen, I'm talking to my cat, because it's good to have an audience, and I keep coming back to something tickling the back of my mind. So I'm gonna talk about root cause analysis, and how teams are complex systems, and teams are made of people. People are other people's code, and you can use some of the debugging stuff, and then it comes up to the front of my mind again, you deserve to be treated with respect, right? Or I could talk about how just because I had the red book and I started to learn the basics, it didn't actually mean that I knew anything. It just meant that I knew to kind of start looking. And maybe your mileage will vary on this, and maybe you don't go in and tell Bob on Monday, hey, this wacky purple-haired lady stood up on a stage and told me the 8 reasons why you're an asshole, so let me tell you right now what they are too. Like, that's not gonna work. But then I just keep coming back to this, that you deserve to be treated with respect. And it all comes down to 2 things. And the first one was this. How many of y'all saw this? How many of y'all saw the amazing, amazing Medium article Dana Boyd wrote that was related to this? Please go back and read these things. They are so amazing. Because This is when I started realizing that if I'm going to come up here and talk to all of y'all about something I care about, what I care about is you. And what I care about is that you deserve to be treated with respect. And what I care about is that I'm tired of getting into discussions with self-declared rockstar engineers whose idea of DevOps is, oh, isn't that great that ops is finally learning how to code? Drives me insane. Cannot have any more of this, right? I would so much rather work with this guy any day of the week than this guy. or this guy. Or what the heck, we'll go back to this guy again, and then I guess, like, for completeness sake, I guess we need to throw this guy in here too. So, oh, by the way, if you want to find multiple pictures of David Lee Roth that are suitable for a presentation, it's really hard to do that and not violate the code of conduct, heads up. That was my big lesson. In fact, I would actually go further than this, right? I would say that I would rather work with this guy than this guy. And the reason is like, this guy is at least going to get shit done. Maybe he won't do exactly, but he'll stay on task. He'll know what he's trying to accomplish. He'll stay focused. This guy is going to say, oh, well, maybe ops should learn how to code. And I am tired of that. I'm tired of that whole model. I'm tired of all of that. And I know you all are too. I've always tended to think of the work that we do as less about being rock stars and maybe more about being bass players. Like, and some bass players are very clearly rock stars, right? And you've got sort of the front man, like the ones who are known for being the front man. And yeah, they're bass players, but the front man, that's what they're known for. And then you have these really big personalities who are also very talented musicians, but they're mostly known for their connection with a single band. And oh, 7th grade me is still in love with John Taylor, and I will never not be, so fie on anyone who says he should not be here. But then you have the last group. And these are my rock stars. These are the artists who did something that is so transformative, and people recognize that they're talented, but the people who deeply, deeply appreciate them are the same people who understand something about the work that they do. They see how their influence is more transformative. These are the ones that I want us to celebrate, because you, to me, are these people. And you deserve to be treated with respect. So I'm going to break this down into some of the ways that we can fix this, can at least make this better. And because I'm the one up here with the microphone and the clicker, we're going to focus on the ways that I try to do it for me first, and then you can extrapolate on what applies to you, just heads up. Okay, so the first part is respect yourself. I am not going to sing. I'm not going to dance either, by the way. But I'm going to talk about some of the ways that we generally, I think, struggle with treating ourselves with respect, okay? First point, you are made of meat, and meat needs maintenance. We have to respect the fact that we have this sort of lowest level physical need, just like we have to do physical maintenance on our systems. We have to do physical, unless we're going serverless. You have to do physical maintenance on your systems. You have to do physical maintenance on yourself, right? Okay, so each of these is here because I personally suck at it. Also, the type is so small, I'm going to have to look up here. Okay. So you have to sometimes eat actual food. This is hard for me because I really like gummy bears. But if I remembered to eat, oh yeah, we're engineers, so I actually have studies. Okay, you have to actually eat real food sometimes. Maybe not all the time, like I'm not going crazy here, but sometimes put actual food in your body to feed your brain. You have to drink more water than I consume alcohol or caffeine. This one is a little bit hard on me. At least a couple people here have worked with me before and have gotten the Bethany 101, how to work with me, which usually starts with, hey, so if you run into a situation where I'm like extra difficult to deal with because everything you say, I snap at you, I'm probably dehydrated. You can just get me a bottle of water and we'll just take the edge off that. I can have people back me up on that I do give that 101. All right. Walk or run or lift, do something. Do something to move around and support the physical systems. I am not saying that you have to join CrossFit, and I stand here in front of you today in exceptional pain because I took a Pilates class yesterday and I'm hurting in places I didn't even know I had. And I hate it. Oh man, nobody hates working out as much as I hate working out, okay? I hate it. But I can't get away from the fact that I am smarter after I do it. And I'm here to be smart, right? That's the goal. So everything is around supporting these physical systems. And the sleep, didn't sleep much last night actually, but sleep is really good. Don't blow it off. This is all normal, boring stuff everybody knows. This last one though is at the bottom of the list because it is the hardest one for me to do, which is get myself some time where I am backed away a little bit from everything and give my brain some time to not be thinking about things. For me, I'm a multitasker, and I'm sure a lot of us are too. It is really, really hard to give yourself this gift, but it is a gift that is so worth giving yourself. And for me personally, and maybe for you, this does not count. Like hanging out and reading Reddit threads, for example, or taking in input from a lot of different sources. It's just too much stuff. You have to give yourself time for all those background jobs that are processing to get some CPU so that they can run and then return the results to the foreground. At some point, you have to do this. And we're all running background jobs all the time. This is one of the ways that we have to take care of ourselves because you deserve to be treated with respect, okay? So that's the physical stuff. Blah, 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 easy, right? But then there's this guy, the hero complex. So I don't know how many people here are familiar with the hero complex or have an idea of the hero complex? Oh, good. So for me, the hero complex is an incredibly dangerous and insidious foe, right? Because the hero complex is the one that tells you, like, you're important. You're the one who's making everything happen. Nobody else may know, but I know. I know that if you ever left this company, that they are fucked. I know. And the hero complex does things like, when you get a message constantly in the middle of the night from my boyfriend Nagios, like, you know that you matter, you know somebody cares about you, right? That system needs you. And the problem, of course, is that the hero complex is a trap, and it is a lie, right? That system should not need you personally to be keeping it up and running, and even though it feels good to be needed, it's holding you back. It's keeping you from growing. It's keeping you from changing. It is probably keeping you from leaving a place that you should leave if you are so trapped in a hero complex. We have all, maybe not all, I have done this to myself many, many times, and I hope I'm not alone in this room of having done this many times. There is no system that is more important than you are as a person. None. It does not exist. And you deserve to be treated with respect. So let's take this last guy here for this section, which is about respecting your peers. So around the time that we got married, around the time I got that red book, I had this problem with my peers, which is I would give them these instructions on everything that they needed to do, the order they needed to do it, all the stuff that they should be doing and how it should work. And I would come home and I would really bitch about all the ways that people were not doing it right. They were doing it wrong. I told them what to do. They were doing it wrong. It was inefficient. And after a couple months of this, my husband of a few months looks across very seriously at me and says, "You would rather be right than happy." And that was a moment that kind of like just blew my mind because he was right. It was so important to me that I had to be right and that everybody had to do things exactly the way I wanted them. It was more important to me than that the result was okay. And this is something that we do where we suck at listening, right? We make up our minds ahead of time. We say, oh, this is exactly how it needs to go and what you need to do. Heads up, one great way to be an asshole, by the way, right? And then you're putting all of this time and energy into micromanaging the people around you. Maybe I'm putting all this energy into micromanaging the people around me, when really what we should be doing is giving them the freedom to execute. I wouldn't put up with that shit. I shouldn't be doing it to somebody else. And I'm blowing all of this energy by just deciding, whoa, I went back, by just deciding that it's not okay, right? So, does it matter? Yeah, I mean, sometimes it matters. Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes that thing really, really does matter. But it doesn't matter all the time. And when our default position is that the way I say to do it is the one true way, we are not only locking ourselves into a situation where we have to constantly be on attack and make sure that we're overseeing everybody and blowing our own energy, but we're also stealing credibility with our peers from our future self. And when you are stealing from your future self, you are not treating yourself with respect, and you deserve to be treated with respect. So, let's talk briefly about cultivating a culture of respect, okay? Because I'm going to tell you a secret. At least it's got to be a secret, because lots of people seem to not know it. Companies are made of people. And I know, right? It's crazy. And that means that they're able to change, and that means that every single thing that's happening inside your company is happening because of people. Some of them are people inside, some of them are people outside, but it's all happening because of people. So what are the cultural norms in your teams and your organizations? Like, how do you do pushes? How do you do design discussions? How do you do code reviews? That's usually an interesting one. And how do you handle disagreements? Like, if you are an asshole, constantly, let's say in a code review, for example, and I'm not saying like honest disagreement, I'm saying like really just being a jerk, then in these forums, it can come out, and that's the learned behavior that people replicate off of, and it affects the entire organization. I know you can't change everyone. I know this. And yeah, if you're in leadership and it's your company, you do, I'll own this, like you do have a little bit more push and a little more influence to say like, there are some consequences to having bad behavior. But every single person inside an organization does have the power to say, this is where I am and this is what you can do. This is what I am willing to tolerate. I am not willing to tolerate these things. You need to set your boundaries and enforce them, and don't let people steamroller over you. You are not anybody's doormat. You also need to understand what other people's boundaries are and respect those as well. That one can be a little trickier if you don't have some practice. Encouraging other people to set their boundaries is a really great way to create an environment where your collaborative organization is healthier. Quick note on blameless retrospectives, maybe postmortems. Everyone's doing some sort of PM, postmortem, I'm guessing, sort of thing going on in their organization, right? Being blameless is awesome. Being blameless where blame doesn't mean that you're witch hunting and you're looking for someone that you want to take out. That's all really useful, and it is a good way to help create a culture of respect. My one very DevOps-y sort of focused thought on this, though, is if there is anybody along the chain of an incident that is being postmortemed who's getting to opt out of coming to the incident review, for example, say the front-end dev that made a change that sort of caused a problem and came downhill and eventually is looking at the whole postmortem thing and saying, you know what, no, that's ops' problem. I don't have to go to those. That's bullshit. So that is my one organizational statement on that. If you had anything to do with an outage or an incident, you should have to be in the room. It is a great time for us to learn about each other's skills and strengths and how everybody works together to create the products that we bring to people. So that is something I would strongly recommend changing. Finally, from my patron saint, Dolly Parton, I would say that it's in your power to make some changes. And if you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one, right? That change can start with you. It should start with you. You can't wait for somebody else to give you permission to make your teams and organizations better. Think about what's normal for your team. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Do you just want to be better? Because just wanting to be better is a good enough reason for you to think about these and think about how you and the people that you work most directly with can start implementing changes that make a difference in your quality of life where you work. So let's sum up. Oh, and I'm blind. I'm going to look up here again. OK, so let's sum up. You're made of meat. Meat needs maintenance. That hero complex, it is lying to you. It is lying to you. If you really hear it in your ear, find someone else to tell you the truth from the outside. It is full of lies. It is a trap. You are more valuable than any system. Would you rather be right than happy? Think about how you might be micromanaging situations and deciding that it really does need it and not do it by default. Let's see here. Companies are literally made of people, which means that it's within their power to change. You are part of the company you work with. You are a component of that. That change can come from you. Set your boundaries and enforce them. Many of us suck at this. I suck at this. Set your boundaries, enforce them, and understand where other people's boundaries are and help them enforce their boundaries as well. Blameless postmortems and retros are great. You have to use them. And we could be better. We could be better is a good enough reason for you to decide that you want to see change in your organization. You don't have to go to 120%. So this is a very different speech than I told Jen I was going to give. A very different talk than I originally said I was going to give. And I have to look back at it and say, like, go back to Sunday. How do I feel about all of this? And I have to say, I'm sorry. I still love plumbers. I think that plumbers are where it is at, and I would so rather have the opportunity to talk with y'all about treating yourselves well and treating each other well than going on yet another ride with this guy. So, remember, rock stars are narcissists. We create the things that really matter, and you deserve to be treated with respect. I hope y'all have a great conference. Thank you for listening to me rant. I really, really appreciate it.